Hey everybody, it's Jared from Symphonica Preservation, and it's over. The game and its story have been archived. It's still a crazy feeling. Like, the main goal of this project has been fulfilled. It's over. Finally. Oh man. There are still some things that I wanted to get, like, if you read the description for Pomp and Circumstance, you would have known that, like, a long time ago, I thought I saw the orchestra change to a blue color. And so I've been hunting for that for a long time. Can't find any evidence of it. And based on the scores I've gotten, it does not exist. But, like, there's, like, that one small, tiny part of me that wonders, maybe, just maybe it does. And so, I've been, like, working on Symphonie Fantastique, which was, like, the final skill level has the highest combo in the game of, like, 669. And it's like, so it's like, if I can get that, then I can confirm once and for all that it doesn't exist. But, as you probably could see, I did not do it. Like, I got that one missed note, and I got that, like, on August 22nd, and, like, I worked on it a lot, and it just couldn't get it, so there's that one thing that I can still try and work for. And if I want to be technical about it, like, the game's anniversary date that I set up is, like, on the information page. It was, like, October 5th, which I think is when it was added to the store, but all the advertising says that it came out, like, on the 17th or 18th, probably depending on the time zone. So if you want to get technical about it, I'm actually kind of early for the game's anniversary, so if I want to, I have time to work on it, so that way I can get that final thing. But yeah, like, it's over. Like, I also want to, like, thank all the people who kind of came to, like, the Discord server. It's still a small community, but, like, I learned some new things. Like, for one thing, I now have, like, an actual PNG of the logo that, like, is perfectly cut out and everything. So, like, I can, like, move it around and stuff, and it's like, it's so good. I love it. It's so great. And then also, like, you got, like, this person, Inverted Jabberwocky, like, they found some high-res images from, like, the original website of the game that I didn't know existed. So, like, there's, like, this image here, like, it's still got, like, this blurry, like, border around it, but, like, it's a nice high-resolution version of this image, and it's so wonderful. I didn't know that this existed. And on top of that, they also found this other information, like some, like, character sprites and stuff, but also information about the characters. Like, for instance, Maria was born in France. That's an interesting piece of information to know. And for me, the craziest is, like, they actually reveal Kazu's heritage, which is that he's Italian-Japanese. I didn't know that. Like, this is really interesting to me. And I'm wondering, did the other characters have this information? Possibly. But unfortunately, the website wasn't archived properly, and so you can't seem to pull up any of those other images. So it's like, who knows? Like, it's a shame, but, like, we have more than we expected. And another big thing that I loved is, like, this person, Sam, but who also kind of went by the name of Knight of Flowers when they came in, like, they described how, like, back in the day, they only had access to the first 3 episodes because they were just in middle school. They didn't have money to get the extra stuff. But they were so heavily affected by, like, the aesthetic and a little bit of the story that they did experience of Symphonica. And it's like, wow, that was really touching. And I just wondered, what would it be like if they finally got to play it all, and, like, see the full story? And it's just like, wow, this game has touched so many lives. It's honestly impressive. Like, this is probably the biggest Symphonica fan out there, just from, like, if they can be this impacted by just 3 episodes, man. Like, we were actually planning on doing a reaction to it. Like, we could, like, see how they reacted to the game, like, the final story elements, but they just kind of disappeared, and I'm wondering if maybe I accidentally scared them off by being a bit too insistent about it. They said they wanted to, so I was trying to, plan it out because my schedule was very bad. But Sam, or Knight of Flowers, like, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry if maybe I scared you off. All I want more than anything is that you get the chance to enjoy Symphonica. You don't have to do a reaction if you don't want to. All that matters is that you get to experience Symphonica the way you want it to, and that it brings you immense joy. That is more important to me than anything else. I hope you're doing well. I did have plans for maybe commissioning some professional artwork or even getting, like, a cosplay for this video, but as you can see, I didn't get that done in time. Heck, it actually never even happened. Like, I tried getting some people, but I either got no responses or I got a response, but it's like, oh, I can't do this. Admittedly, I had time to find others to try and get it to happen, but sometimes due to, loss of time, but also due to loss of energy, I just couldn't bring myself to keep searching. That's not a really a good excuse, I understand. But yeah, like, it is what it is. Inverted Jabberwocky did say they were going to do some fan art, and they didn't get it done in time, at least as of me recording this. If they do get something done in time, it'll probably be in this video. But if not, they're going to be posting it as well as some other fan art into the Discord server. So, come check that out if you want to see some nice art. I think it'll be pretty cool. They finished it, and it looks so good! Thank you so much. I really love this. It's so great. I can't wait to see the rest. But in regards to, like, my big plans of, like, getting some, like, being really outgoing for a video, well, there's still chances for that, because I'm not actually done with this channel. There is, of course, like, the whole confirming if the orchestra turns blue or not, but also there is one more thing that has to be archived. The OST. Like, the game has, like, this music playing function. I showed it off, like, it's nice, it's kind of like an iPod almost, but it is inconvenient that I have to, like, bring this, like, one specific iPhone with me to do that, and it's even more inconvenient for you because a lot of you don't have the game. Even if you can get it now, it's still not as easy to just get your hands on. Like, the gameplay has the music there, sure, but, like, you have the note clicking effects, which you can turn off, but I turned it on because, it's, like, a unique thing to Symphonica, so I wanted to get the full Symphonica experience for the archive. And also, it's, like, playing multiple skill levels back to back, and it's, like, you want to hear the song maybe one time, but not like 3. And of course, if I miss a note, then it's like off beat, and like if I hit a note too early or too late, it's fine. But then it has like a strange ding that's not in beat with everything. So it's like being able to listen to the OST would be nice. And then there were things like menu music and background themes that I didn't sit to record, and like without like having like the dialogue sound effects going over it. Like those are things that I can do, and so that's another thing I want to try and do. When that'll happen, not really sure. This project has kind of taken a lot out of me, though it's not been like the worst thing ever. But now that my job has taken over a lot of my life, I don't have as much free time to work on this as I did before. Like, it sounds like it'd be easy. Like, okay, you just sit there and record the audio. Heck, you can probably just walk away. And while that's true, they're like the background themes, for instance, which don't have names unless, of course, they're also like music that's been written before. I'll have to use Content ID to try and figure that out. But if that's the case, then I need to come up with a name for those pieces too. And like I have to probably sit there. I like sit there sometimes, let it loop through properly and make sure that no dialogue sound effects go over it, because that would just kind of interrupt the feel and flow of the music. And also, my recording software isn't always the nicest. I've never really had it break down in the middle of a good recording that's once it started. But like, there's a reason why the game is harder for me to play for these videos than it is to just play it naturally. It's because there's a natural delay. Like, even when I like unconnect and reconnected my computer several times, the best I've gotten, I think one time was maybe like 3, maybe even 1 frame of delay. But standard, it's like 6 frames. I always wait till like my ear is satisfied enough, but I can always still tell that like, oh, this is not quite in sync, and it is off, which makes playing it harder. And on top of that, the software even can actually mess with the game. Here's a great video to show what I mean. Like, both the audio and the gameplay can be significantly affected if the software is just not having fun for whatever reason. There is an update to it, but I'm worried if I update it, it will be incompatible with older iOS, so I'm just not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna leave it alone until I'm done with Symphonica. But yeah, there's that. Maybe that'll be something I do just over time as I find time for myself. Maybe I'll save it for the 11th anniversary. That could be something I could do. Other than that, what are other things? Well, there is the original Japanese version of the game that hasn't been archived. I just don't have access to it. And there's no language option in the game, so I can't just change the dialogue. And even if I did that, because I can't read Japanese, I wouldn't know how long I would need to actually like let a scene sit for it to give people enough time to read it. Like, whenever I did the archive for the game, I tried to do it at like a standard reading pace, so that way it would flow very naturally and there wouldn't be like long pauses or a word being cut off before someone could finish reading it. I can't do that for the Japanese version, even if I had access to it. So not only do we need someone who from Japan who had, or at least someone who had a phone with the Japanese version of the game, we also need them to record it, or at the very least to send it to me, and they can help me record it with my software, whichever way they want to do it. So that way we can get like this version of the game archived for Japanese fans. And like, it would also be cool to see what the more direct translations were. Like, were there things that were changed for the English version? Who knows? We don't have the game. There are other project ideas that I want to maybe do with Symphonica in the future. Like my main channel, my reviewing channel, I definitely want to talk about Symphonica there, both like how I feel about it, but also like how I think that its story could be improved. But like that again, that's gonna be probably way in the future. And like there's one more project idea, but I'm not gonna announce it because I don't know if I could make it happen, and I don't know how long it would be before I could do it if I did. So it's like, want to save that just in case, like, I don't want to get people's hopes up for like, oh, this would be so cool. It's like, just be aware, like, like it's not likely, at least as my life is currently right now. So I will only announce it if it actually is something that I feel like I can do. But yeah, with that, that's everything. To wrap this all up, I want to say just a few things. One, thank you to everyone for coming together. This is a very small community, but it's a passionate one. I love that we were all brought together by this one little game, and I hope that in the future, it'll continue to bring people together. Like, it'll stay in the test of time, and like, over the course of years and generations, more people will like just come across it by accident, and like they'll be touched by it, just as like Night of Flowers, I and so many of us have been. And my last message is to the company Leona. Going through your game catalog, like on your basically your list of games that you've made, you don't list Symphonica. Like, I know it's unlikely that you're saying this, but I just want to say, please don't be ashamed of this game you've made. Financially, I'm sure it didn't do well, but that's not your fault or the game's fault. That's Square Enix's fault for charging it improperly. They made it way too expensive. This game deserves to be recognized as something as part of your history. And I also want this game to be brought back. Whether it be on the iOS or heck, maybe even on the Switch. It's a great platform for it. It's just like, clearly, like, again, Sam's story or Night of Flowers' story. They were so touched just by 3 episodes. That's not a bad game right there. This game clearly means a lot to people, and it has the potential to touch a lot of people's lives. It's worth it. Please, bring it back. Remake it. Re-release it. Like, no one has actually sent a phone in to me yet, but like, I'm still willing to put the game on your phone if you want to send it to me. That's something I'm still willing to do, but that's a very inefficient and ridiculous way to get someone to play the game. Like, that's insane. I shouldn't have to do that. So please, if you see this, and like, surely you can recognize the fact that I went through this much effort, and that this community here, small though it be, all came together for this game, it is worth it to bring it back. Please. A bit more serious, I'm sorry. But like, it's something I wanted to say. It's important to me. This game clearly is important to me. It's important to all of us. So that's it. That's all I had to say. This is goodbye for now, but I can assure you we will see each other again. And never forget, we are all one in the music. Oh, I forgot to say happy 10th anniversary. Oops. Happy 10 years. The whole purpose of this entire thing at the end is like, and I just forget to say it until the very end? Really? That's just classic me.